everyone. My name is Jenny and I want to say welcome to everyone who is new, joining me for the first time, and welcome back to the rest of you. I appreciate all of you who share the videos and like and comment. My algorithm with YouTube, they think that I'm like on a 2-week schedule, so I notice when I make videos that are off schedule, they aren't putting them out as much, but that's okay. Yeah, and if you want to make sure that you're subscribed, I watch someone else on YouTube. I watch a lot of tarot. I listen, I should say, to a lot of tarot as I'm walking through the woods. I just ask them to guide that for me. And so, yeah, they were saying that sometimes when there's updates that they can like unsubscribe or not send notifications anymore. So you might want to just double check that. I wanted to let you guys know I'm making this on Friday the 22nd. It's very late at night. Couldn't be helped. I had a lot to do today, so I'm finally finished with my other job and on to this one. But I also didn't make it earlier today because I have a parent who is recovering from surgery, and I needed to go and spend time with them today, which was very nice. Yeah, we had quite a week in my household. There's so much now that this has gone on in my life, and I've, shared it with some people, just the stories of suicide coming up so much. And the person that was involved in the story with my family, a very, very close friend of the family, someone who was very dear to me and very close to one of my children for many, many years, tried to take their life the other night. And it was all very, I was the one who the child reached out to and said, go to this person's house. And I rushed over there. And luckily my child had called 911, which is not like this child has a Virgo moon, is an Aquarius, as they all are. And even though Scorpio rising still with the Virgo moon, he's not very emotionally so when he had called 911 before I had even reached the person's house, I knew that it must be really serious. But they were able to get to the person that had lost consciousness but lived and is being taken care of. It's like people, when we go through these times of difficulties, challenges is what I meant to say. We forget that the sun still rises. It doesn't stay this way, when we go through those dark times. And I think that, we understand that more as adults or as people who've had more life experience. And sometimes the younger we are, the more we think that this is it. Like, this is what I'm stuck with. So just, keep in mind, like, people that you have around you that are fragile, just to keep, check on them. If it doesn't take too much out of you, just a text or, letting people know that you're thinking of them, that you care, that there are brighter days ahead. And, just remind all of us, like, how precious life is and how quickly it can change. I was standing in the driveway and they had been in there for so long, and somebody came out and got a stretcher, and I thought, that's it. Like, I really thought that was it. And, yeah, thank God Creator, it was not. And, yeah, so it's been just it kind of like took over, the following days then, especially because of my child that is so close to the person. But anyway, it's good news because he is recovering and still with us, which I'm very grateful for. And, I look at this kid's chart and I'm just like, oh, you have an amazing chart. But, there's always that. It's just a rough age. So anyway, I just wanted to say that for all of you. I know so many of you have people who struggle with depression, and or a lot of you, are in challenging circumstances too. Just to remind you that things change. We don't stay. Nothing is static. Nothing or, you know, nothing is staying as it is. Everything is always changing and transforming. So speaking of transformation, we just left Scorpio season a few hours ago, and now the sun is in sunny Sagittarius. So I'm pretty happy about that. We still have Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, and Mars will be there until January 4th. And Mercury will leave on, gosh, I hope I wrote that down. Mercury will leave. No, I did not. I believe it's the 3rd. He leaves, he leaves shadow on the 7th of December. And the 10th, Mercury will be in Sagittarius. So we do still have Scorpio, especially Mars and Scorpio happening. And, you know, that's Mars and Scorpio is like, you know, exposing the shadow and your focus, like that's Scorpio, and Mars and Scorpio is about like zoning in, like the eagle, you know, taking the higher perspective, but seeing the target, even if it's a long way off. And Metatron is saying launching yourself then toward that target. And yeah, because Mars, yeah, the rocket too. So we have that still happening. But meanwhile, we're in Sagittarius season. And Sagittarius is about exploration and the great beyond, the endless opportunities, abundance, and opportunities that abound. Metatron was saying when I said abundance. And now the sun is answering to Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter is at the end of Sagittarius at the galactic center now, waiting on Venus. Venus is at the door. Basically, that conjunction will perfect on the 24th. But Metatron is calling this the golden gateway because of all of the golden opportunities that we have coming for us in abundance. So it's a very nice energy. We have I feel like a respite because then we move from, Sagittarius, which is the holidays and everyone's out meeting and socializing, and you have to be out of the house. You have to be shopping and doing this and that. And, Sagittarius like to chat people up, strangers. They like to learn about things of other cultures, and they like it when everyone is just, all of us are together. The lower energy, if you see any of this, you could be on the lookout for, especially at holiday time, someone who wants to not only share their opinion, but make sure that you have that opinion as well. So, and that's not just Sagittarius sun. Everyone has Sagittarius in their chart. Everyone has a Jupiter. So, but I mean, this is a great energy. Venus and Jupiter are the benefic planets, the most beneficial planets that we have. Venus is beauty and resources in like money, but also resources of the earth, the beauty of the planet, and whatever it is that you cherish when we are cherished, or someone that we cherish. And she's also about balance. And Jupiter is abundance and blessings and opportunities, and seeing things from the higher perspective, but also seeing all of the possibilities. That's why Sagittarians sometimes can have a hard time settling down, or if you have placements there, depending on the placements, it can be hard to settle down with that perfect person because you're sure there's somebody better out there. But yeah, it's about wanting to explore and like take part in, it's fire, and it's the number 3. So Jupiter in numerology, and that's the 3rd. We have Aries is the first sign of fire, that impetus that pushes us out of the birth canal, and the ram, like we're going forward, we're getting this done, we're doing our mission. And then the second sign of fire is Leo. That's our sun, where we shine, where we feel comfortable being on stage and allowing ourselves, whatever that stage is for you, allowing ourselves to bring forward the light of our soul through our own creative gifts. It doesn't necessarily have to be something spiritual. Anything that you want to create in this lifetime, that's your sun, that's your Leo. And then the third fire sign is Sagittarius. And Jupiter sort of like commands an audience is what Metatron is saying. So that's where you've taken like that fire, that passion that you have within you. You moved yourself forward. You created something that you love. And now it's for all to see. Okay. That's Jupiter. And so it's a great energy, and it wants to participate and do things and make things happen. And we're going to be doing that because we have shifts and changes coming. And we're still, you know, waiting on that Saturn South Node conjunction coming up. But we're really in a place right now where it's important, and this is Jupiter as well, it's important to have faith. Because if we believe that what's the point, I'm just stuck here, it's not going to change, it isn't going to change. You know, everything is matching, everything around you, everyone around you is matching your own frequency. And when we have that, you know, 8 of Wands energy where we're like in a prison of our mind, or we don't see how it could possibly happen, so it must be impossible. No, Jupiter says anything is possible. All things are possible, right? We just have to direct our passion in the right way. And then as far as manifesting, because really on the 24th, but you know what? I'm not going to put a date on it. They perfect on the 24th. There's never the wrong time to do the right thing. Metatron always says in regards to the planets and retrogrades, when you're manifesting, thank you, Creator, that I am worthy of this promotion. Thank you, Creator, that I'm worthy of having the dream job. Thank you, Creator, for a relationship that has an equal energetic exchange. Anything, but, you know, I'm worthy of, and thank you for. That's the way that we manifest, as if it's already in your experience. And seeing yourself, like in meditation, in that experience. What do you feel like? Keep yourself in that energy if you can at all during this time, okay? Because he's really pushing faith and hope and believing. He's saying believing in the things that you did know, that you give up, like believing that something is impossible, believing that all things are possible. Okay, that great faith of Jupiter. All right, so we're going to talk about, and I also want to mention on the 24th is when Mars and Uranus come into their opposition. Mars is in Scorpio, Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is at 3 degrees now in his retrograde. So when Mars makes it to that degree, that's all happening on the same day. And Jupiter and Uranus share freedom as well. And also, I believe, an aspect of the higher consciousness, the higher vibration of the Creator, like not of this world. You know, being in the world, but not subscribing to the same thinking of the world. I saw a post earlier today about, like, don't be like the people in the world that believe this and this and this. I don't necessarily believe that they all believe that, you know, something is, like, they're not all thinking negatively. I don't believe that. I just believe that we hear more of that talk. You know, that's what makes the news. But I do believe, I heard somebody say, a former teacher was saying, like, you know, only 1% of the population is light. I don't believe that at all. You know, and somebody else, a client was saying to me this week, in regard to what's going on in the country, like if enough of us believe that things can turn around and things can get better, and that's true. And I don't believe that there are so few people that do. I just believe that we're not outnumbered. We're just not as loud. So, you know, don't give them that, don't give the shadow that the props that really they all are, you know, this way. They're not really. That's just what they want us to think. So, when we don't, we know better. So, okay, here we go. So we've got the sun and the moon there in the 7th house of balance, and they are meeting up at 4 degrees and change of Sagittarius. So your planets at, let's go from 0, I mean, I would say 29, to be honest with you, 29 degrees to, let's say 10. He's saying 10, so we're going to go with 10 degrees. Any planets that you have, I don't care what sign they're in, they're going to be getting this directly in some way. And then we've got Pallas Athena They're the goddess of wisdom, the one that looks like a diamond with the cross at the bottom. And then where it says Gabri, that is the asteroid Gabriel. And they are very close to the fixed star Antares. So Antares is actually the eye of the Scorpion in the Scorpio constellation. But he's one of the 4 royal fixed stars. And we associate this royal fixed star Antares with Archangel Uriel's energy. And Uriel, I love Uriel, he's the golden, well, he's saying flame, the golden flame. And, and with Scorpio, him, that fixed star being in the eye of the Scorpio constellation, that's the gold that we mine from the earth. Pluto rules like the riches of the earth. And Uranus is what's called exalted, meaning that his favorite place to be in the zodiac is Scorpio. And so we get that Archangel Uriel energy of change and freedom. Freedom is something that, and hope. He's saying, and hope. Freedom is something that Jupiter and Uranus share together. So we have that energy because the sun, in Jupiter's sign, answering to Jupiter. So we have like hope and freedom. This could also be a change in whatever financial circumstances that you find yourself in. If you'd like to, be on a different path, making new money, a different way of making money. So we have a lot of promise of hope and change. There's definitely going to be change. This is happening. So I looked at Metatron led me to the fixed star at 5 degrees of Sagittarius, and that fixed star is called Marfic. So Marfic is the elbow in the Ophiuchus constellation. Marfic is the elbow, the right elbow. Yeah. So sorry, I had to make sure I had the right elbow. And the Ophiuchus constellation is Aesculapius. It's a hard word to say. Aesculapius was, in Greek mythology, the son of Zeus and a mortal woman. He was a doctor who never lost a patient. He worked with herbs. He was a healer. And in the constellation of Ophiuchus, he is wrestling a serpent. Okay. And this is, so I just wanted to read, Metatron would like me to read just this excerpt about Ophiuchus. One called Ophiuchus holds apart the serpent, which its mighty spirals and twisted body encircles his own, so that he may untie its knots and back that winds and loops. But bending its supple neck, the serpent looks back and returns, and the other's hands slide over the loosened coils. So the struggle will last forever, ever since they wage it on level terms with equal powers. And that's from Astronomica. I'll leave the website where I found this in the description box below. So it's about the struggle of like the, good and evil, the light side and the shadow side, right? Sorry, you guys. It's Aesculapius. I practiced before, but hey, it's like 11:15 at night now, so I'm going to give myself a break. He was a healer, and I feel like, and Jupiter too, the centaur. And, it's like when we're doing these healings and we're coming to the light, we're still wrestling that shadow, right? Always in every moment, we're making a choice. Do we choose to go with hope, with love, with faith, or do we choose to go with the cynicism and the hopelessness? And that's basically the story of that constellation. So it's happening at the right elbow of Ophiuchus. So, and he, in the picture or the depiction of what the constellation looks like, that's where he's got the serpent's head, basically. So, and we still have that Scorpio energy. So I feel like it's very fitting with what's happening because, Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So he's very strong in Scorpio. So we have that, dark stuff that we're still dealing with, but we're looking at the light. It's like on 11:11, the 11:11 gateway, the fixed star Zubin Ishmaeli is what hits where the sun hits at 19 Scorpio. And that's like that beautiful, abundant blessing star. And there's another fixed star there that doesn't have the same connotation. It's darker. But we choose to focus on the positive and what's going right, and the fact that there are so many of us, you know, that maybe we don't know a lot of people in our community, but I talk to so many of you all the time who say, like, there's no one around me. Go, like, ask for that, to be led to those people. You will find them. That's how I found my people. You just ask, like, listen, I need help with this. I need someone to socialize with. I'd like to talk to someone who talks the way that I talk, who understands things the way that I understand them, who sees things the way that I do. And you can ask for that help, and that help will come. So with that too, you know, Uranus is community as well, or Aquarius. Uranus ruling Aquarius, that's about like your friends, your network. And because it opposes Leo, Aquarius, I always feel like that's about soul family coming in. So if you're talking about, you know, meeting a soulmate, I would say, you know, that it's possible right now. But when it's in that opposition to Mars, that's more of setting yourself free. This is a great energy to kick a habit, to be done with something that you don't want to deal with anymore. Negative thinking even, Mars at Scorpio. And yeah, and then you've got Jupiter right there with Venus, and you can actually see them together in the sky right now as well. The Jupiter and Venus conjunction, but you need to Google, like, from where you are, what time it's best to look at it. But I've seen a lot of pictures of it on Facebook. So then we've got, so that's on the 26th, and I'll give you the times. The new moon is on the 26th at 9:05 a.m. in Chicago, 3:05 p.m. in London, and then the 27th at 2:05 a.m. for Sydney. And 5, it always, you know, in numerology and the tarot, 5s are about, like, getting through it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of doing the rods thing, but, you know, it's about working through and pushing past. That there's going to be a change. For surely there is going to be a change. That change may require an effort on our part. The effort could just be in keeping us in a space of hope and faith. But 5 definitely speaks to change, and so does Uranus. So that's always, I like that. I like the 5s. And then on the 27th, so really on the 24th, I feel like we start with this energy. Yes, it's the dark of the moon, and so it's a good time to be doing releasing and healing, but maybe do releasing and healing about, you know, what's keeping you from seeing that, you know, the potential that you have, being confident in who you are. Leo, your sun says that you have already all of the gifts that you need to manifest heaven on earth, to create whatever it is that you came to create. And if that hasn't been like something that you've been aware of so far, then this is a good time for that to come in. When you're talking about Uranus, that's like a sudden revelation that can come to you as well, especially when they're sitting at the galactic center. That's the gate of the gods. And Metatron has been talking to me about this being the golden gateway for ever since I finished the last video a couple of weeks ago. It was pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge just kept coming up. I was like, and then I heard somebody else, I can't remember how I heard it, but I finally realized, like, oh, that's why he keeps putting that in my face. So on the 27th then, Neptune, who went retrograde on the 21st of June, will begin to move forward. Okay, so that's like light dawning in the darkness, like the end of confusion, where there's been a lack of clarity. You know, expect things to become clear, because the next day on the 28th, Mercury will trine Neptune as Venus trines Uranus. Again, it's going to be something that you could just have a sudden like realization. It could involve money. It could involve a partner. I notice in the new moon chart that the 3rd house is intercepted with the north node there. I mean, that's revenue, the house of revenue. So there could be something in the market that goes on, like more than we've had, but we'll see. You know, sometimes these aspects happen at these degrees, and then a planet goes by and hits the same degree of where one of them were in this configuration, and that's what sets it off. You really, with astrology, you can't pinpoint, you know, that no man knows the day nor the hour from the Bible. It fits like for anything because they don't like give us the, you know, this is what's going to happen this day, this is what's going to happen. I don't care if you talk to them all day or not. I can promise you that they don't do that. But on the 28th then, okay, so, and that's Thanksgiving for all of us in the United States. So, big day. But I feel like it's good. I mean, Mercury trine Neptune. Yes, Mercury's in Scorpio. He's still in shadow, but Neptune is moving forward and Venus trine Uranus. That can be like some magical partner appears. It can be like, yeah, love at first sight, where you just like, oh, you hear the birds sing. It could be that energy happening for you as well. So, and then I wanted to mention Venus then will go into Capricorn on the 26th after, no, I think she's actually there before the new moon, but it doesn't really matter, like an hour or two here or there. But she's going to go into Capricorn on the 26th, and she'll stay until December 21st. And Venus in Capricorn, that's interesting because Venus, don't forget, is in charge of Uranus as he's making his way through Taurus, and she's going to go by the South Node. And Capricorn rules banks, governments, institutions of any kind. Saturn is in his own sign, so she's going to hit the South Node, then she's going to hit Saturn, and then she's going to hit Pluto, death and transformation. So that could be interesting as well. A lot still, I'm going to keep saying that we're still in that partnership where we're kind of moving away from partners that, you know, where there's not an equal balance. And I know quite a few of you who have ended relationships amicably. It isn't like easy or, you know, happy, but everyone knows like this is what needs to happen now. And it's just an adult, you know, two adults deciding that they're going to do the right thing for each other and for themselves. And, you know, we're still in that energy, especially when you're talking about Mars. If you're talking about Uranus at all, then it could be, it's a shift and change. It's the wheel of fortune energy. So, you know, it giveth and it taketh away kind of thing, with Uranus. And, yeah, what else did I want to mention? Anything else about the, okay. Okay, so I did pull cards, and Metatron actually had me pull tarot cards. We haven't used these for so long, and you'll see that they're my personal deck. This is how I taught myself tarot. They are just a mess. So forgive me for that. But I did want to be very clear with the interpretation. And I was just explaining to my mother today, because she was telling me about a tarot reading that she had, and I was saying how, you know, there's a card that when I hear a tarot reader pulled that card and they give the interpretation, I know what it means for me, so I don't necessarily go with their interpretation. So these are the interpretations that I was given by Metatron to share with you, okay? So the star related to Aquarius, and Uranus rules Aquarius. The star is about hope, inspiration, faith, and belief in a new and better life ahead. And I love the sign of the water bearer. I feel like all of us do that in some way. You know, all of us who are light workers. The water restoring the earth. He's talking about replenishing and restoring. And he's saying to mind yourselves, your own energy, and caring for yourself, and showing yourself that same love of that nurturing. And then the Three of Wands, a stage of initial completion of a project with new ideas forming on the horizon. Looking there at the mountains and the sun shining there. A lot of mountain stuff coming up too. And then death. The end of something which has been lived out with new beginnings to follow. And the sun, And the sun is always a yes. Yes, very optimistic. Optimism, time of positive action, energy in abundance, and a time of clear vision. I'm glad for the clear vision. I hope that there's a lot of stories like when this Mercury Neptune comes up on the 28th, and it could come, you know, before or after as well. But that could be like a lot of secrets being exposed. So I'm happy about that energy. And then here is the Nine of Wands. So he's talking about, with the Nine of Wands now, he's talking about like what we fought for in the past, or maybe what you are like currently like working through, coming to like receiving the fruit of that now. Okay, the fruit of your labor, reaping what was sown. Something coming to us that's fortunate, and also being mindful of money, and just checking on like what you've believed from people that maybe you thought like, you know, just being not like so on alert, like but just, you know, really using your discernment and discretion when it comes to trusting and spending as well, and perseverance. Because this next path, like as we're working toward the sun. Oh, now I feel like I should have had those lyrics. He had given me the song, Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong. There are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. And, you know, it isn't, and sometimes it can be hard won. You know, sometimes there is a little bit of a fight required, you know, even if it's with ourselves, like, yes, you are going to do this. Yeah, I know you can do it, you know, encouraging ourselves. And, you know, playing music when you wake up and you feel like you just really don't feel like doing what you got to do that day. Whatever you got to do to pump yourself up and get yourself out there and get stuff done and stay positive, you know, that kind of thing. Putting in the effort to, like, keep our hope going. And then, so that fixed our Marfic. And Kabbalists believe that it's the tarot. I mean, the tower. The tower. So, this comes up in my tarot readings all the time lately. So, I've had lots of towers this year with Uranus. So, that, you know, gets rid of well, just read it. The breaking down of existing forms, sudden unexpected changes, changing false structures, and finding true values. Okay? So, like I said, like as far as when we're talking about finances, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, anything is going to happen in these next couple weeks. But, you know, there is something of the old structures, the old ways going. You know, we can see what's happening in our country. We've, you know, now it's just a whole new frontier here in the United States for us. And, you know, things end and new things begin. I wanted to show you this color because this is the color that we're looking at to keep our energy, this green blue. I have so many stones, you guys. I couldn't believe that I couldn't find a stone in the color that they were showing me. But I had some stones in this bowl. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. It's like a seafoam greenish blue kind of color. I don't call this, I mean, this is to me as an aquamarine color. But I know some people identify that more as a turquoise. So it's like a green blue and see the yellow in the middle. And I just realized, you guys, this is the color of that star, Marfic. That's pretty crazy. I didn't even think about that. So, yeah. Just what I mean when I say focus on that color is when you're in meditation, or let's say you're running out the door in the morning and you realize, and you just don't have time that day, stand there for 2 seconds, well, maybe 5, and take that deep breath up through the earth, through the root chakra, through your nose, and then you're going to just let it release down through the bottoms of your feet, going into the earth. And as you release it, see this ray filling your energy, or pull that ray up from the earth. And I've been like advising people to do it from the earth because of the ungrounded stuff that we're all dealing with right now. Hopefully that will become easier as Neptune moves forward. But always grounding and centering ourselves in the earth. And he's pointing out that the earth is part of the cosmos as well. You know, we don't think of it that way, but the same magic that exists in the cosmos is in our planet as well. We don't need to be always getting it from above. It can come from the center of the earth. The creator of all that is, and the frequency of pure love is in everything. It's in this piece of paper. It's in the water in my cup. It's in the chair that I'm sitting in. And when you allow yourself to just be in that place of receiving, you can feel it coming to you from everything around you. You know, and I always say that with clients that we're filtering our aura is like the creator's pure unconditional love in our aura can filter than anything else from coming in. And he wanted me to read, this is the degree where Neptune is on when he moves forward. So I'm going to read, it's Pisces 15, and he's already there. Neptune is already there, getting ready to move forward, which he doesn't really, but, you know, the optical illusion of him turning and moving forward. It is many kinds of fruits arrayed on a silver tray. The inner kingdom seeks to come out. Everything is ripe and ready for emergence. There have been gathered many soul gifts in divergent worlds, and now there is a harvest time. An immense earth force presses to the surface to release and reveal an underlying feeling tone of righteous triumph, exultant mastery, the gathering of the tribes, the frequency of socio-cultural renewal, with everybody here offering their best. A subtle, permeating tone underscores the outward power with mystic fervor, a deep and strong combination to make a difference and to carry through what is intended, to get the job done. But I love that because you are millions of years old, and we can't number our lifetimes. It doesn't work that way. It isn't, you know, when all of us in the West were exposed to the talk of reincarnation, it was mainly through the Hindu religion. And in that religion, you die and you go up and then you come back in a different body. And it's like one at a time. And that's the way that we've sort of just accepted that it is. But now we're moving away from our traditional religious teachings, and we're thinking for ourselves. We're going directly to the creator for our information. And when you see the quantum field and you see how many places you are at the exact same time, I'm going to have to clear this Merkaba. Okay. So right now, we're here, right? Okay. But you're also here. Oh, geez. Here. And in those places, this is the center. And it just keeps going like that. So I wanted to just point that out because someone had brought that to my attention. And when you do, like when you want to test for something like that, say, you know, using kinesiology, when you use kinesiology, you're testing or dowsing, it's for a belief or like, what's the answer to this question? You're getting what your subconscious believes. Otherwise you need to add, like, that's something that you want to just ask the creator or go into the creator's energy and ask your higher self for that kind of information. But all of those lifetimes, okay, all of them, you gathered up gifts and you figured out how to do this and this. That's another beauty of Scorpio, is that all the mysticism, all of the gifts that you've learned through all of these lifetimes and your ancestors have, they're all in the subconscious mind. And so it's about now we're going to put all of those into practice. Like, this is what we came for. We didn't come here to go back to Atlantis to go back to Lemuria, to go back to Mao. We're here for something new. We did that. That's done. Okay? We have all the sacred knowledge and the ancient teachings that we need are all already here. They're in the pineal gland, okay? So you've already got that inside of you. It's just a matter of us getting through it, through all of the shadow and the negativity, and doing the healing so that we're able to bring that forward and bring our best expression of us, our sun, to the fore. The golden part of all of us is the sun, okay? Wherever your sun falls. And it is the ego, and it's also the expression of the creator, the light, the source that we are, that you came in as, that you're in a DNA suit that's covering up. And then we go through the stories that cover it up. But you know, that's why me and so many of you do those sessions, to help people to uncover what's beneath all of that, all of the story that they're carrying around. So everybody, I hope that you enjoy for those of you in the United States, I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. And for the rest of you, I hope that you have a great week. And I wanted to read, I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind. And love, lift us up where we belong. If you want to look up the lyrics, maybe I'll stick those in the description box as well. So I just wanted to read this speech that our president, John Kennedy, was on his way to make this speech that and was killed before he could deliver it. But this came up, and I felt like Metatron thought like maybe taking a moment to encourage everyone in the United States, because it's pretty angry over here these days. And this is just an excerpt from that speech. Let us not quarrel amongst ourselves when our nation's future is at stake. Let us stand together with renewed confidence in our cause, united in our heritage of the past and our hopes for the future, and determined that this land we love shall lead all mankind into new frontiers of peace and abundance. And I believe that that's true of the United States, and I believe that that's true of other countries, the rest of the world as well. And I think that, you know, whatever it takes for the world to be at peace is what's going to happen. So let's remember that, you know, the relatives, and I've got them too, that don't agree with the, you know, don't share our political ideals, that they're just as much a spark of God as we are. And they're welcome to share their opinions, and you can just smile and nod. That's what I do. And sometimes the person will just keep sharing, and I just keep smiling and nodding. And that's fine. You know, you don't need to engage at all if you don't want to. But yeah, things are pretty heated, and we got a lot of stuff going on the 28th. So better just to, you know, sip the water and smile and nod. That's what I would do. That's what I would recommend anyway. So anyway, everybody, I had thought that this would be the December video, but then the week just didn't pan out that way. So I will get to the December video probably about a week from now. And I'm sending, oh, and I also, December, I don't even know what the Sunday is, the first Sunday. Is it the 3rd of December? Ooh, I don't know. But the first Sunday in December, we'll have the Congregation of Emerald Fire meeting. And that link is in the description box below. That starts at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's free. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to talk. But if you want to be there and help us to do some work for healing for the earth, we're going to be working on ourselves, I know for sure, and they haven't shared much more with me, but I know we're going to do work on whoever is with us at that time, and then we'll do the healing for whatever else they bring up, okay, between now and then. Anyway, everybody, take care. I'm sending all of you so much love, and I appreciate every one of you, and I want to say a special thank you to all of my clients, and especially the clients that I had for Wednesday when I had to leave my house in such a hurry. Blessings to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Bye-bye.